going to the Olympics, take me through the whole process of like, you know, so when you get your kit to then when you like, do you fly out as a group, and then when you get there, like, what do you do? Because obviously China's been in lockdown for what, 3 years. So how was
Yeah.
it being like at an Olympic Games where you couldn't really do much?
Well, for me, it started off like in summer. You basically get thrown into a list of people that can or are able to go to the Olympics. So then I was thrown into that list, and it's kind of very unlikely to make the games if you're on that list. So then I probably had like a 1 to 5% chance of actually going there. And then when I actually made it, it was unbelievable because I made it in such a short period of time. And then yeah, when you don't really realize, or you don't get the feeling yet until you wear like the Olympic stuff on, or you get um the like letter that says, oh, you're going to Beijing now and stuff like that. So that was like a surreal feeling. It kind of is still surreal to this day, but it was proper sick.
Was it similar to, so when we saw the Tokyo Olympics where athletes were like, their teams were in the team hotel, they weren't really allowed to do anything, you weren't allowed to leave the area, kind of, and they had like, like in Japan they had those stupid beds, didn't they, so that they couldn't have anyone else in the room because the bed would break. And it
Yeah,
was like, was
yeah.
there any like weird precautions they had in place while you were there?
To go there, I basically had to like not see anybody for like a month and a half, because he said if you're positive a month and a half beforehand, you can't go, because you had to provide set amount of PCR tests and COVID tests like that. So then they basically couldn't see anybody. We went to the races and we had to like wear masks all the time. We couldn't, like, even with the team, we couldn't not have a mask on, because it was like if somebody's got it and they don't know that they've got it. So then when you get there, you kind of like you know to be cautious at that point. So you couldn't you weren't really allowed to go to other people, like other teams, um, dorms or whatever like that. And pretty much everybody had their like own building where all the athletes were in, and then you had to get PCR tests every day. You had to wear a mask everywhere, even outdoors and whatever. Um, so then it kind of became normality for some point, just wearing a mask all the time. But yeah, you couldn't really you weren't really allowed to go meet other teammates, or go to like different events like that kind of situation. So it was a bit annoying, but also you had to do what you had to do.
So you couldn't go to see any of the other events then?
Well, you could, like, you weren't really allowed to go to different villages, unless it was like some kind of special thing. So you had three villages, where you had one in Beijing, in the town, that was more for like the ice skating and stuff like that, or the ice events. And then you had one that was roughly about 2 hours away, that was then for like all the skiers and stuff. And then we were in the biggest one that had like the biathlon, all the snowboarding, all the skiing, all of that kind of stuff. So when when you wanted to go somewhere, you couldn't really go anywhere because there was no way of getting there.
So you kind of like just you blocked in basically.
Yeah, and you could, like, you were allowed to go to the events at your village basically, but you weren't really allowed to go from our village to the one in Beijing center and go watch the ice skating or whatever,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was just, you had to be very careful.
So when you went out for your first event, what was that feeling like? Where you was there like a moment of just like, oh my fucking god, I'm at the Olympics representing, Great Britain. Was there anything like that?
Well, I had a proper bad training day the day before. So I was like, oh, I don't like, I wasn't racing very well and all this. And then when it comes to like quali, I was like, I was bricking it. I was proper bricking it because you just know that, like, for a normal World Cup, you know that people are watching, but not that many. But for the Olympics, you know that everybody is watching you and everybody can like see what you do. So I was absolutely bricking it.
Now, if you enjoyed this clip, please make sure to check out the full-length episode on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, as well as checking out other clips and other episodes over on the YouTube channel and the Spotify and Apple Podcast networks.